All right, here we are. Welcome, Guru Nation. We are back at it again. Like, subscribe, share, comment.
Dragon Nation.
Oh, Dragon, there we go. That's
I'm a
Chris, is that
Rogan
your
fan. He believes in dragons.
Ah, I like
Supporting
that.
him.
I
he actually
gotcha.
does. Yeah. Well, no. He has said, what if they were real? I don't think he said that they are.
No, he doesn't actually believe in them, but
Okay, yeah, because I saw that. Yeah. But the
It's
view
just a
said he
way,
did.
it's
That's right.
yes.
That's
And
right. Okay.
maybe we start with that. I think these kind of media's days are numbered. Like no one respects them anymore, not even the
Ah,
Democrats.
well,
Not even sensible Democrats.
it's
yeah.
funny. A poll just came out recently. The least trusted institution in the United States used to be Congress.
Now it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Now it's second to last, and the MSM is last as
Yeah,
most
for
trusted.
Mainstream
sure.
media. That's
I mean
mainstream
that,
media for you at
yeah,
home.
it's hard to watch that, you know.
It's cringe.
It honestly, it really is.
I think the numbers, I think it's the last days. And you already see
Yeah.
smarter people, or maybe not smarter, but freer people, more autonomous in their behavior, shifting towards different kind of rhetoric. You saw New York City Mayor
Dude,
Eric
seriously.
Adams. Now he's getting tough on immigration all of a
Right.
sudden. Like, I mean, I think these people have always been sensible for the most part. They go with what the zeitgeist prefers, right? And now it's cool to not be so woke. But it used to be cool to be woke, right? For the last, what, 10 years? Now it's going to be kind of the opposite. But those that have been true to their who they are or their values, or those who truly have changed their opinion based on what they saw, I mean, those are the genuine ones that I think are going to last. And the other ones, like The View, I mean, they would do anything
Yeah.
to get
Say
woke,
anything.
right?
So I don't necessarily agree with that. I really
I know
think
you
it's
don't. That's why these are good hot takes.
sure. The best explanation I've heard on why wokeism has lost the battle but not the war at this point is because corporations, think about it, if you're in charge of a corporation, giant multinational trillion-dollar corporation, you're going to run advertising. Who are you going to run advertising for? What kind of advertising you're going to run? Whatever the greatest outreach is, right? And
Yeah.
a Republican hasn't won the popular vote since 2004, thus stating more people on the left
Oh, right.
carry more power, thus more advertising dollars should be spent to that spectrum.
Yeah.
When the Democrat is getting 10% more vote, whatever the case might be, I don't know what the percentages are, than the Republican candidate. So
Yeah,
they
who won the popular
advertise
vote this time around?
Trump.
Yeah, Trump did.
Okay. Well, you
by
just
Yeah, he
proved my
got
by
point.
both.
no, I didn't prove your point. What I'm saying is yes, the battle's been won, but not the war because wokeism's not dead. It's just flipped, right? Corporations are not going to advertise to what's the predominant number, right? They're going to spend their advertising dollars with the most effectiveness. Now they're going to spend their advertising dollars to the right. And that's why it's dying.
I
At
think
the
it's dead.
moment, I don't. I think I honestly think it's just a matter of time till it comes back, especially when if the Democrats win the popular vote again.
That's at least 12 years away.
Hopefully. I hope
Yeah,
20.
I think it's over. Rest in peace, wokeism. 2012 to 2024. A good 12-year stretch you guys had.
Well,
You cut off a lot of
what
genitals in the process. That was,
Yeah, sterilize a lot of kids.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man, don't get me started. But like,
And
it's
I'm
too
the
bad.
most woke from all you three, all the three of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, that's right. Do you still have your gen?
I still got my genitals intact. Yeah, thank God.
I don't know. I think maybe one. No.
My nine blew one off.
But I mean, the left's approach, unfortunately, has worked. I think that most Democrats, people on the other side, people on the left side of the aisle, most of them aren't as radical as what you see on TV. But I feel like what you see on TV and the news, it's a very small portion, and they're trying to say, like we're taking away your guns. We are, they're trying to say outrageous stuff, So moves the needle that once was over here. Where's my camera? There it is. Right here. It moves it a little bit closer that way. It's kind of the same kind of approach that sometimes I take so I'm a realtor, when we are negotiating a repairs. We might, I might know it might only cost 5 grand to get this fixed. I might ask for 12 or 15 to hope to end at where I want to be. So in some regards, I think that's what the left has
It's
done.
a negotiation tactic
Yeah,
in
but
most cases.
unfortunately, you're really messing up I mean, think of how many young kids are confused about their gender now, So it's like it's just a damn shame you know, that's one out of 50 different things, but yeah, I don't think wokeism is dead, like what Chris is saying. It's we've definitely have had exponential growth since the 90s. I mean, look, there's so many videos of
I
Hillary
think certain
Clinton.
elements will remain, like this gender fluidity thing is not going to go anywhere. But I
Okay.
think what I mean by wokeism that, and who knows, maybe some science comes out
It's
later and
not
it
as
says
cool as what you're saying.
it. Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
you're saying. Yeah.
correct.
It's not super cool to say you're a liberal, is
It's
what you're
no
saying.
longer
Yeah.
like the du jour thing, and for the
Hmm.
last 12 years or whatever.
Sure.
Like
It's
now
not
it's
mindful anymore.
correct, correct. But I think certain elements are here to stay, and some might call that progress, some might call it degeneracy. I mean, that's where it gets subjective. And I think I have an opinion on it, but I mean, if new science comes out, would you guys be
Uh-oh,
open
here
to
we go.
changing your mind?
Chris,
Or
buckle up.
I'd be open to it. I just haven't seen it yet, but there's
Trust the
research
science.
going on.
Yeah, trust it. Well,
Yeah,
well, first of all, put on a mask and be outside, and and, uh,
correct.
and get 15 vaccines of the
Yeah,
same one.
yeah, and the term conspiracist and conspiracy theory should be wiped from our vocabulary, at least for the next decade, because it was a way of marginalizing people's valid opinions.
So wait, what are you saying?
Many of
More
which turned out
research
to
of
be
what?
true, not a conspiracy, actually true, right?
Correct. I think that term should be wiped from our vernacular, at least for the next decade or two. Yeah, because you don't know what's
It was
true
a way of
anymore.
dismissing something.
It's very dismissive, it's very condescending, and once in a while it turns out to be true. Now, that doesn't mean there's insane conspiracy theories as well, like there's reptilians controlling the planet. I mean, you know, every person, I guess, is gonna have their limits on what they're gonna be willing to believe. But, something like sex versus gender, if science comes out, they have shown genes that are hinting at, or at least chemicals. They've shown chemicals which you can trace back to gene clusters that show affinities of like brain patterns for homosexuality, for example. So if the science comes out and says, hey, you know what, there's actually people born this way, I'd be willing to change my mind on
Well,
rights and things like that.
science can't make that statement. Science will never be able to say
No, it
you are
could.
born gay.
In theory, it could.
Science
That's
can
science.
say that you might have some feminine traits, but there's still a lot of feminine men that aren't gay. They have a little bit more feminine
Correct.
than
Correct.
some males. They might, they might dress nicer. They
Yeah.
might present themselves a little nicer, or they might like feminine sports, or more
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like volleyball. See, where I'm from, only girls play volleyball. It
I
wasn't until
like
I
I
came to,
like volleyball, and I'm not
well,
feminine.
you're part of that stat, Chris.
They should
Sorry,
analyze
you
your
set me
brain,
up.
man.
You set me up too good, Chris. Come on.
Yeah, they need to analyze your brain.
I'm joking.
Hmm.
Volleyball is really cool. I agree.
But science is
Um,
really about answering questions. So science is
but you
about
can't say
proving
you're born. Science will never be able to say that because there's not.
why.
Because there's no
Well,
gene that
yeah,
expresses
exactly.
that.
But
Yes,
it's
you
not just
can't.
genes. It's not just genes
Well,
that
then how would you
determine.
be born with
Well,
it?
traits. Yeah, exactly right.
There's
Traits. is
there's
different,
Genes
there's
and
and it
epi
doesn't
DNA,
determine if you are gay.
genes and DNA determine what you're born with. If there's no expression of that, or at least proven at this point. Now, I would agree with you if they could find a gene or DNA that proves an expression of homosexuality,
well, there's
then
also epigenetics, like Alex Jones was saying, they're turning the frogs gay because the water is
yeah, but
has estrogen rate.
that's
That's
after the
epigenetics.
I'm going to start
that's
quoting that.
but
They're
that's
turning
after
the
the
frogs
fact,
gay.
right? That's after the fact.
Sure,
It
epigenetics. Yeah,
changes your DNA.
correct.
It's a
But
change after
well,
birth. But you're saying
oh,
born with. That's what I'm addressing. Born with,
Sure, born
unless you
with.
can show DNA or genes expressing a
Or
homosexuality
what if it's
trait.
changed? Like, what if it says, hey, we can verify through biometrics that this person actually feels like they're a female? Like,
no,
I
Well,
mean, it's
so
possible. I wouldn't be that close-minded because science,
I would.
the laws of nature and physics and chemistry can be translated to even like another galaxy. They would still fit there
Well,
because
then,
it's
with
questions
that logic,
we've
I would
answered.
say I could find scientific evidence that um, if I feel like I'm a dog, I might have some traits of being a dog. See what I'm saying? How like
But you'd
lucid,
have to
like
prove that. Otherwise, it would
yeah,
be
I'm sure
proven
that
incorrect.
well, if you can prove,
That's
if
what
you
I'm
can
asking.
find
If you
so,
can prove,
well, that's what I'm saying. Well, it's like no, you can't.
I
Okay,
wouldn't say
so
no, you can't because you don't know. You
okay, well then I
think
guess I
that's a
don't know that
hypothesis.
I'm not a dog.
Well, you know you're not because that's how you feel. What we're saying
Well,
is
no, it's what I am, or
correct.
what I'm not.
Correct. But if it comes out that no, well, this certain biochemistry under these conditions, these people do exhibit these traits that they think they are something else,
Well, I
right?
think
And
we're
then
talking two different things because, like, one is I do believe there are people that are attracted to the same sex. I'm not saying that that does not exist.
right, right.
Now we're getting into religion, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. See, I like talking about religion, but I believe that that's just because you have that attraction doesn't mean that you should act on it. I'm not denying that they have a interest or that I can't deny. They physically have an
Right, right.
attraction or a
But
just
instead
well,
of
like
like discussing
so
ethics,
oh,
we
wait,
just need
wait.
to
well,
discuss if certain
I'm saying
people
that I'm not
feel
denying their feeling, but that doesn't mean that's what they are, and that
right,
doesn't
right,
determine what they
right.
are. I might
Most
have
most trans
feelings.
people will tell you sex-wise, they are the sex that they were born with. But gender is where the argument comes in. That's where gender fluidity comes in. And there's actually science going on, whether it's scientism or not, whatever. I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm saying if it comes out at some point, enough evidence,
Well, let
I
me
would
ask you
be,
the reverse of that question.
Right.
yeah,
Can I ask you the reverse?
yeah, sure.
So let's say, and I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, Dan. If I suppose if there was a genetic proof, again, DNA, whatever, that you're born with this, whatever this might be, I don't necessarily think that says you're not maybe mentally ill, because a lot of people are born with mental illness, but it's certainly something you're born with, right?
Right,
So the
right,
flip to that, let's say they prove absolute certainty you're not born with this, right?
right.
This is nothing you're born with. This is
If
what
they
you
can prove that
develop.
that's not the
This is
case,
psychological, not
Well, technically, that is a
physical.
proof now.
No, I don't think it is. But okay, I'm just saying, I mean, maybe it is. I don't
if
know. I
it's
haven't,
psychological, yeah,
right. So then it's a mental illness. No.
yeah.
So
But as far
this,
as like being inclusive, I mean, I don't think it should change how we treat them.
no,
Oh no.
you don't treat
Yeah.
someone with depression or anxiety
Exactly.
or
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
schizophrenia as not being
100%.
human.
Right.
Right.
And I
You
wouldn't
just
go
are
as
aware
far
they
as
have a
letting
mental
letting
illness.
minors like get surgery, like
Well, you
Fuck
shouldn't
irreversible
that.
do that.
surgery.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that already.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Correct. But I'm just saying
Yeah. I'll start a war over that.
certain
Straight up.
elements of wokeism may never leave. And in that regard,
Yeah.
I do agree with Chris. But I think for the most part, it's dead.
Truly my biggest concern with wokeism are twofold. One, we were removing meritocracy. I don't think
Yeah.
nation divided can stand, right? And if you're not going to base everything on meritocracy, you will fall for a number of reasons, right? And then secondly, I don't think kids should be able to do something to themselves, you know, that's permanent until they're
Right.
adults, until they're clear
It's just
thinking.
boils down to collectivism versus individualism.
So promoting that stuff for children needs to go away forever.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Yes.
Even if
um,
science comes out,
You can't drive a
yeah,
car until you're
I
how
agree.
old?
I
You
even if
can't
agree.
the
drink
science
alcohol
comes
until
out,
you're how old?
yeah, even if the science comes out, I think we should develop like programs, like therapy programs, psychotherapy, maybe not to reverse, but how help them deal with it into adulthood, but
Yeah,
not to just go into
then make
surgery and chop it
then
off.
make that decision. It's just not
Correct.
even surgery. Not so many have surgery, though many have.
The
It's more
hormonal,
the fact that they're giving them these hormones that literally cause castration.
sure,
That's what they're used for.
sure.
Literally, that was their first use, right? It was to
And I think
chemically castrate people.
people were worried that was the path we were on. And even Democrats were like, hold on, you know, this is a little much. Like, we're all tolerant. I
Hmm.
actually know there's, I don't know how many camps of Democrats there are. I think there are, I've been thinking about this for a while. There's like four camps I can identify of in the Democrat Party.
Hmm.
There's the super elites like George Soros and the
Hmm.
Rothschilds. Okay, we know why
Hmm.
they're doing it. There's
Hmm.
the super poor.
Hmm.
We know why they're doing it. There are the super nice ones that are want to be tolerant of everyone, but are normal people, like the
Yeah.
nicest people in the world. They're
Yeah.
just caught up in that marketing of we're the party
Yeah.
of tolerance.
And I would say that's a decent portion of that side that are just nice and want to be taught. I mean, I know some conservatives that fall into that camp, I have to
Correct.
say.
Yeah. And that's
So
those are
it's
good
a
people.
sizable portion is what I'm,
Those are good
yeah.
people. I think, and then the
Good
fourth is
hombres.
the union workers, right? Which you can put them in the poor category, but they're not really poor because they have jobs
No.
and
Yeah.
so those are the four
They make
camps
good
of
money.
like traditionally Democrat.
Yeah.
The Republican is really the middle
But
class.
wouldn't you say they added a fifth camp though? Like just really leftist
The
lunatics?
leftist loonies. Yeah, correct. Leftist loonies. That was what I was gonna add. The leftist loonies. Those people aren't going anywhere. The elites aren't going anywhere, right?
Hmm.
The unions may not go anywhere, but then I think if Trump's gonna do things for them or make their work hopefully better in the long run, Doge might. And then the super poor, I don't know, they might not go anywhere. But those nice people, those really nice people, they're the ones that are torn because they can see the divisiveness primarily being spread by the left, even though the left says the right's doing it, and the right's not innocent of this either. They're the ones that, in large part, flipped. There's a lot of those people that flipped this time around. And if the Democratic Party loses them, they really have no sensible people left. Like it's
Oh.
just the lunatics, like the communists, basically socialists, that look for any reason to cause chaos, and the elitists. The elitists aren't going anywhere. They're staying.
Well, I mean, I would agree. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I would almost say that then the nice people, I mean, I would almost say that, and maybe that could just be human behavior, just being sheep and just, but I almost say that that's kind of lunatic, to where, I mean, being okay to teach a kid that you can pick your gender, that you can change your
Yeah,
gender.
and that's where I think they lost them.
COVID.
That's where that party lost them.
Yeah, yeah, but so yes, but I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, even today, I still see people wearing masks, and today, um, but focusing
I
on the
mean, there's nothing
kids
wrong with
and the
masks. If you're sick, wear a mask. You're not gonna spread it to other people. Like it's not nothing to do with COVID. Masks do prevent like from close encounters from you to spread more than you should be to people around you.
my only so yes, but my only thing is Americans have never done that before, never
Yeah,
in
America's more
public
cowboy.
society. Yeah, that
Right.
is
Right.
if you go to other countries, not all of them, but some others. masks were common and
Oh
not a
yeah,
big deal, but
yeah,
that has never
Well,
been normal in
s-
America.
so there's a misunderstanding there a bit, Joey, in terms of wearing masks. Like, for example, in China, they don't wear masks to be considerate. Like, I'm sick, I don't want to make other people sick. They wear it because of air pollution. They literally have dangerous air pollution, and that's why they wear
yeah. They
masks.
wear masks. Could wear masks for a number of reasons, but in Asia, like in
Sure.
Korea, they do wear masks too. Japan, there is some
Yeah.
hygiene involved and
Yeah.
gloves. I know a lot of
And
nail
maybe it is. I
salon
mean,
people that wear
maybe
masks
there
when
is
they,
a courtesy function, to
yeah.
that as well. And, air, because I
And
have
those
some
are those nice
clients.
people again, right? Like
Yeah.
if you get on a plane, shit, at least wear a fucking mask. I hate when if I'm sitting next to someone who's sneezing like on a plane, like god damn, wear a mask. I don't want to catch their shit.
That could
Like
be another podcast.
I
exhale into the mask.
I certainly
Sorry.
agreed with that when, what was it? It was in January, right? As COVID was hitting in 2020. I sat next to this dude coming from Washington State back to, or no, Texas back to California. He coughed and sneezed the whole way. And this is when we
Ah,
knew nothing about COVID. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
what do you got? Am I
If
going to
any,
die
I
from
mean,
you?
maybe that's one thing of COVID that's maybe a good thing, like a good fallout, because it's still not, people are not wearing masks out of fear anymore, but the ones
I
that
think so.
haven't,
Oh, yeah, I think so too,
you think
Dan.
I
so?
think the large majority,
Wow.
in my opinion. Yeah,
Every
I'm not
time I
saying I'm
go,
right. I just when I see, I just think, wow, you're a brainwashed sheep.
that's
That's
what
what
I
I.
think too.
Yeah.
Every time, literally, Julie and I go to the gym probably 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Hell
And,
yeah, dude. Get it. So do I.
and
You look better than me though.
well, I don't know about that. I got some flab going on, but
Yeah.
anyhow,
Whoa, that's for the
Speaking of
OnlyFans.
flab,
every time we go to the gym, there's somebody there that Julie and I make fun of because they're wearing a mask on a
same,
treadmill. They're wearing a mask
same,
doing the stair stepper. It's like, what the hell? I guess you like smelling your own breath? What?
dude. 2 days ago, I
I mean,
was
it does train
driving.
you better.
Mm,
Yeah, actually,
LeBron
maybe.
wears a mask when he runs.
Yeah, he's an
okay.
idiot. But 2 days ago, I saw he's probably a 60-year-old Asian guy. It was like 8 a.m. and
Yeah.
he's walking the street outside, has a mask on, and he has his morning, and it was Del Taco. And I'm just
Wow.
like, I'm
Quite
like,
the
listen, no,
contradiction.
exactly. Like, okay, I occasionally eat Del Taco. I'm not, but
Yeah.
it was just like, wow, you're being so
I
healthy,
mean, I don't
safe,
have a
and
problem with masks. And
for some reason I do.
yeah, but that's you've been politicized, like to
Well,
think that
I
it's
would
bad.
say the same.
Right. But there is a
When
function for
have
it
you
too.
worn a mask before COVID?
Never, but I have said I should. Because I've been on planes many times before COVID. I was like, fuck, I should have worn a mask. I don't care what I look like. I should have worn a mask. So
Dude,
I've
you
had
might. Oh,
regrets.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna. I'll
I've had
text you what I was gonna
regrets.
say.
I've had regrets.
No
But
regrets.
I think and that's my point. Maybe there's some good fallout from COVID too. Like, I think there's several good fallouts from COVID. One is not normalized masks. The majority of people still don't wear masks, but it made it more okay for people to wear masks, like not feel weird. And I don't
I
think
think
it's necessarily
you
bad.
might be very unique, Dan, but I think it's a very small, like when I see people wear masks, I
I
think
still don't, but at least I know if I could.
I don't, it's okay that if you did, that's fine. But I would say, and maybe it could be because the industry that you're in it could have a little bit different, you might have a different perspective than someone like myself.
Mhm.
But, to me, I see it's if I see someone wearing a mask today, you're a sheep, super liberal. You were
Yeah,
marching with Hillary,
but even they don't wear it anymore. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they might not be political anymore, is what I'm saying, but maybe they still are.
Well, I
I
guess
don't
in
know.
my opinion, I think so, and
I
it's
think they
probably
shouldn't be
because
political.
so I'm in California,
Yeah,
so and you're right, they probably shouldn't be, but I'm ultra aggressive against it because it was used to control me for 2 years. I mean, I had so many
yeah,
people. I couldn't show homes. I couldn't do this without mask on. And
I
it turns
see.
out that was bullshit. And so I kind of like you. I don't like to be
Mhm.
told what to do, and I don't like to be commanded to do stuff. I feel like all three of us are like that. We're entrepreneurs, right? We like to kind of go at our own speed if we want to, you
Right.
know?
We don't like the
Um,
state to tell us what to do.
yeah, and so I guess
Yeah.
that's how I'm so aggressive against it because of I feel like it was used just to control. And then, I mean, I hear people say that masks do very little. It didn't stop you from getting COVID. It didn't prevent COVID. It maybe
They
some,
do help though. They don't help,
okay,
like they don't completely reduce the risk. No.
okay.
It brings it down a little, and that's where the misconceptions are. But I think it's still better
But
than
to
not wearing
wear it
one.
24/7,
No. I
I just,
that's
and
crazy.
then to go like this and then
But there
take a
are
bite
people,
and then put it
listen,
back,
listen though. There are
fuck
people that
you.
are long COVID. There's this debate now about is long COVID actually the culprit or is it vaccine side effects, right? And there are people now that are immunocompromised and worse off than before COVID. So they might be wearing it out of a necessity to not breathe in extra things, although it helps the person to wear one, but also for another person who's sick to be wearing one, which is not the case. So they're negligible in their benefit, but they are better than not wearing one. But they become a political statement too, which I hope goes away and people just wear them when they feel like it or not. Because if you're immunocompromised, I would wear one.
You should move to China, dude.
I'm not moving to China,
Because
man.
what you just described, China.
China, everyone basically wears it. Yeah, even and that was before COVID, but Chris said for the unhealthy air. But in other countries in Asia, they are very hygienic, and they're in everything they do. Um,
Yeah. Well, I've had a couple clients from China and they said like, yeah, even for years before COVID, I mean,
yeah,
for
yeah,
it, if you saw people wearing masks, it was no big deal. Like it was
yeah,
just literally what you were
yeah,
just describing.
yeah.
But how the heck is Bitcoin and Dogecoin,
And
why is it going up so crazy with Trump?
because they are the party of crypto. Trump is the first crypto president.
I
No,
see.
it's more to do with what he said, I think.
Well, he's the first president to ever embrace crypto.
But
Oh,
it's further than that. He said once he becomes president, he's going to buy $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin.
Right, but you didn't even
what?
need to go that far. It just being like Bitcoin was ready. It was like a coiled
Personally?
spring.
No, no, no. For
No,
the
no,
United
no, for
States
the
to hold,
treasury, the
which would
treasury.
be which
Are
would make
you serious?
yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa.
So
yeah.
it's
I
another
did not know that.
it's a because Bitcoin's looked at as though it's the electronic gold, and he thinks we need to hold a fair amount of that. He wants to own 10% of it, which is what $1 trillion would buy him.
Right.
He wants to own 10%.
Well, not he. He wants the
The
Yeah,
country, the
United
the
treasury.
States,
US.
I don't think
Holy
he owns any, or
cow.
he might own some actually.
yeah,
Wow.
he said that
Okay.
he intends to do this, and this is why Bitcoin, since his election, has gone
Bitcoin was a
nuts.
cold spring, and if the other administration won, it would have been just flat, I think, or
Yeah, it has stayed the
trending down.
same. Yeah, I agree.
Flat or trending down. Probably flat because it's still an inflation hedge, and inflation would have gone crazy with the other administration. At least in this case, they're gonna aim to cut down costs, and I bet you we're gonna come out of it okay, man. Like, yeah, people are gonna be affected. Government jobs. We talked about this last night on our
Oh yeah.
After Dark. Government workers, and there's a lot of them. There's like 30% of the country is employed in some capacity by a government agency, either state, city, or
Wow.
federal.
That's a
That's a
lot.
lot. That's
Yeah, that's a
one
lot.
third. What's 33%?
Yeah.
One out of every three?
Yes.
So one of us should be by this ratio like a government worker. Thank God none of us are. But that's why we have a podcast. I don't think a government worker would even do a podcast.
Right.
But yeah, if you get three random people, one of them in some capacities, city, state, Fed, or some NGO like NIH, for example, and they're gonna be, for lack of a better word, screwed because what do you call it? Chris called it austerity measures. That is what it's called, right? Like,
Cut government spending and increase taxes is usually what's done.
and governments are good at one thing, it's to get bigger and get
Hmm.
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
efficient. So these guys
Yeah.
coming in and saying, nope, we've done this in the private sector. All of them have Trump. Vivek, Musk, RFK, they've all, well, RFK less so, but all within the private sector have been very successful. Billionaires.
Hmm.
I do like
And
that.
I do too. That's why I voted for them as well.
Me too.
But life's gonna suck for some government workers, and the question is, how does that translate into the overall consumer, and how does that translate into the S&P? Besides the Magnificent Eight, which I think will do well, how does that affect Disney, Target, Walmart?
Well,
Costco's
wouldn't you think
insulated.
it would be better? Because it's like if
I don't think
unemployment's
so.
low and you have more workers coming on the field. I mean, I feel like we have jobs for people.
Okay, but
It
let's
might
say
not.
they reduce, let's say they reduce half of the government workers, right?
Okay.
That's a lot, by the way, but let's say they reduce
Yeah, no,
half.
you're right.
Elon reduced 80% of X, but this is not X. This is the
Right.
government.
X was very small compared to the government.
Right. Let's
Yeah,
say it's half. We're all entrepreneurs.
right.
The archetype employee that I'm hiring is not a government. Now,
Yeah,
doesn't mean
I see
there's
what
not
you're
some
saying.
superstars in there too.
No, they all suck.
But you would think the superstars would be the ones they don't cut.
Right, for sure. They're cutting the fat,
So
literally.
theoretically, they're cutting the bottom of the barrel. So who's going to hire them? In our
Yeah.
industry, we know,
But
Chris and I have
that's
talked to
their
people.
problem. This
No,
is
no, it's our
capitalism.
problem
No, it's
because
that's
we
their
just talked
problem.
about S&P, Walmart, Target. Those are consumers. So it's actually our all of our problem at some point.
I
It
mean,
is their problem.
I
I'm
wonder
with you.
how many government employees is it because it's like,
It's like 30% of the US is in some capacity a government worker.
well, I would want to know the who's getting paid, who's on payroll from the government, because that's different than like military, and that's
No,
different
no, yeah,
than,
we're not counting
you know what I'm
military.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that stat has to include. There's no way that a third of Americans minus military, like I feel like that stat would need to, because that's 100 million people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Because we're
So maybe if you exclude
330.
military, maybe it's 30 million. Let's see.
Well,
I just watched a video on this recently. So let me pull
Well, and
it up.
then, it's workforce. So it's maybe a third of the workforce of America is somehow connected to government. Because right, there's kids. Out of that 328 million
Right.
Americans, a portion of them are kids, a portion of them are retired. And then there's, maybe it's 100 million that it's a working force. Actually, let's look that up.
There are 20
Uh,
million as of 2023 that are state and local governments.
Perfect. Okay, so 10 million. Yeah,
This
dude,
is
I
much
don't think
higher
that's
than
going
the
to
number
have
of
a
federal,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
20
have a
million.
huge market
That
crash,
doesn't
but I
include local cities though, but it's
It,
states
oh,
and
so
federal.
what Elon proposed, they will have no market
2 years.
crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 years. They're going to
I
get,
I that's too generous. I'll give you 6 months, dude.
Yeah, Doge is not supposed to be permanent, but I wouldn't mind it being permanent, although that can be abused too.
well, no, I mean, if they if they take care of the cuts, right? At least we will see operationally for 2 years how this works. And if it works well, people will remember, I would assume, I would hope.
It's going to work well in the long run, but in the short term, what happens to the S&P? What happens to Target?
I don't think anything.
Yeah,
They intend to pay them all 2 years severance, give them 2 years to find a job elsewhere.
that's just too nice. Elon's nicer than me.
Well, think about it. If you're going to fire somebody, cut their position from government, rid the government of that position, you would have been paying them otherwise, right? It's a 2 year delay until that financially impacts the debt or what the government spends, right? I
Gives
don't,
them time to find the jobs,
yeah.
which
And
I would say if you're talking bottom of the barrel government worker, I would say 25% of them maybe are salvageable
the others can go on unemployment, I guess.
permanently or
Well, for about a year, so they'd
What
get three. They would,
find a job. Like, what's the American dream about working for the government the rest of your life? Like
I
I don't.
guess
I guess I just don't
they
feel
don't
that
have to do
bad.
much.
I
and
just don't feel
they
that
get a nice
bad.
retirement
Go
package.
go
And
figure it out.
And
Go
part of
figure it out.
collectivism has been instead of government paying subsidies to like especially the Democrats to win votes, they've been hiring people like to do things that they don't really need them to do. It's another way of paying entitlements, right? Without calling it
Minimum
that.
skills, minimum wage, bro. You know, if you don't want to make minimum wage, you got to figure out, not that you have to get more education, but you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
You just, yeah.
Well, do you think America gets back to like individualism and this kind of virtue of selfishness? I'm reading this book right now, Ayn Rand, Virtue of Selfishness, and she wrote this in the 60s, but it's basically an essay against collectivism and objectivism is what she calls her thesis. And selfishness is not a bad thing. Selfishness is taking care of yourself and your family and not expecting the government to do it, is kind of her definition of selfishness in that regard. But that's kind of seen as a bad word. And do you think America ever gets back to its core? Because this spirit has been breeding in the country since the 60s, really.
Well,
Collectivism, socialism.
I know how the authors of The Fourth Turning would argue that. They would say, yes, it happens every 100 years.
Do you think the fourth turning's over?
If it's real, no.
I see. I think COVID might have been the fourth turning, the
Yeah, but
pandemic, because there was a lot of deaths.
sure. But in terms of there being so that would be a natural occurrence opposed to a man-made occurrence. And the fourth turning is based on man-made.
Well, man-made, the response was man-made,
Yeah, I suppose.
which caused the social disorder was man-made.
Right. Usually the cause of the fourth cycle is a war, a massive war.
Right. It climaxes in a war. Yeah. Which Biden's still trying to do. So
Yeah.
the year is still young, guys. There 25 days left or
Dude,
what we
yeah.
got.
He wants to go out in a bang,
Dude,
literally.
he's senile. He's senile and Kamala's tipsy. And so that literally shows you like
Don't
who's
ever
running
let
the
them take your
country.
power away.
The fact that this is possible and no one
Turn
cares,
the page.
the fact that this is possible
Yeah.
and no one cares tells you there's shadow government. Like
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah,
way
how it functions when Biden is wandering off into the rainforest
And he
bushes.
looks back and smiles.
and falling asleep at meetings with presidents of other countries.
Yeah. Oh man.
You know he ain't doing shit.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So
Somebody
you're
else's
Chris gonna owe me a hat because he believed
January
the fear
7th,
porn. He believed the fear porn and
not
he
what I
thought,
said. Dan's lying.
why don't you explain what our bet was?
So we bet a hat. I bet that Kamala would be the next president. I was not betting on Kamala. I said I will happily
Chris
lose
is a
this bet.
leftist.
I said I will happily lose this bet. I'm just hedging. I figure at the time, I said I think Kamala has at least a 30% chance of winning. So yeah,
See?
and I
And
said
I believed in the American spirit and
and
the
I'm
Constitution.
See,
I
wait,
bet
wait, wait.
I bet on the
You thought
establishment. I bet on the
she
establishment.
had a 30% chance of winning and you took the bet that she would win?
I would be
That's a
happy.
bad hedge.
I would
Yeah,
be
What
it's a
are the
happy
bad
other
with.
hedge.
percentages?
I would be happy with either outcome.
I
At
gave
least
him
I
my
won a
hat size
hat.
as soon as we made the bet. I gave
At
him my
least
hat size.
I win a hat, or I get a better president. That was the way I looked at
Well, happy I'm able to contribute in giving you a better president. I did vote for Trump.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm
You
this
kind of whispered that.
the first the
I kind of
the
voted for Trump, guys.
the first time I'm happy losing a bet.
Nice.
You've
Okay,
lost
there you
quite a
go.
few to me over the years. I
I
think
gotta
my
start betting
record's
you
like
guys.
7-1, or
Oh,
higher.
dang.
No,
You have a 16% win
and
percentage.
I disagree with that analysis.
We should have kept track.
So is it dumb to buy Bitcoin today?
I wouldn't, but
Okay.
I don't really know what I'm doing. I've just been holding. I haven't bought Bitcoin since like 60K.
Well,
Honestly,
okay.
this
So
is
that
my
was like 12
thoughts.
days ago.
If I were
Yeah, but
just
when it was flat for a while, that's when I last bought. I
Yeah.
like
Okay.
October. October was like kind of the last time I bought Bitcoin.
if if I owned no Bitcoin and had decided I was going to buy Bitcoin, I would buy X dollars a week of
Oh,
whatever
oh.
I felt I could lose.
That's
That
probably,
would,
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
and I would do it every week or
I would
once a
agree with
month.
that.
Wow.
I would agree with
Chris,
that.
do you own Bitcoin?
Hmm.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
own one and a half.
Are you serious? Good job. Now, how long have you been doing that for?
Well, I used to own four.
Yeah. I used to
Whoa.
own like six, and I should have had kept six.
Yeah, me too. But I sold them.
I fucked around with alts too much, but I bought like landscaping stuff for my house, so it worked
Yeah.
out. But yeah.
And yeah, I'm thinking about going back to that structure just by like $100 a week, or maybe a
I'm gonna
little
do that
more.
when
Dang.
the excitement dies down a
Where
little.
do you buy that through, Chris?
I use Coinbase. Dan uses
Oh,
something
you
much
do.
cheaper.
I use
Okay.
Ledger, something much safer.
And you would not do Robinhood
I mean, for convenience, I would, but
because
it's not
I
really
don't it
yours.
doesn't cost me
It's
any
not
money
really
to
yours
buy.
on Coinbase or Robinhood.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would
Oh,
put it
Coinbase is
in a
really?
quite
hard wallet.
Coinbase is quite expensive.
Yeah. No, I bought I think I bought some Ether. I'm like, oh dude, why am I paying fees for this? I went back to Robinhood.
Well, Ledger has fees too. The exchanges have fees, but
Actually, I
Ledger,
haven't checked my
it's a
account.
it's a question of security. Do you trust yourself to not lose your private keys or to not lose your hard
Oh.
wallet? And a lot of people don't, and I mean respect to them because I think I'm in that camp too. But I have my own cold wallet, cold storage.
I have one. I've never used it just
I was
because I don't
thinking to
want to
buy
lose it.
I was thinking to buy three of them because now the valley's like so high to all be in one, and just spread them around.
Yeah, in
Hmm.
case you lose one.
Not just one, but like like divide them up in quarters or something.
No, I understand. I'm saying in case you lose one, you don't lose all.
Or someone hacks because like theoretically
Right.
someone could find your
Your keys.
keys if you stored them somewhere, which on this last wallet, I don't think I stored them anywhere online.
You trust yourself to remember 25 words?
But you don't need the
Right.
25 words unless you lose your wallet.
No.
And I did write down the 25 words
Yeah,
in
oh, what is it?
hiding places. Here, let me find it real quick. Hold on.
You almost
It
told me.
Display it
is
for the world.
it is not just that every day of our life is used up and less of it is left, but this too.
Shall
Yeah.
pass.
If we live longer,
Just
can
read
we
right
be
straight out of a
sure of
book.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
right, exactly.
exactly.
Well, Chris, that's it. I didn't know that, dude. I thought you didn't own any.
No,
Um,
no, Chris is
No, I
Chris.
told you guys like 2 years ago my investment strategy, and I've maintained that.
okay, repeat that. What was it?
Buy gold and buy Bitcoin.
I
Got
agree
it.
with the latter, but
So,
I don't think the
when was
gold's
the last time
stupid.
you bought Bitcoin, Chris?
probably about 4 months ago.
Oh, and you don't own stocks, is that right?
Other than on my IRA, no.
Wow, I
Got
didn't know
it.
that.
Okay.
I
So
thought you
no
fucked
stock,
around with some.
so gold and Bitcoin. Now gold,
I got
do
good
you,
stocks for you, man.
yeah, do you do like actual gold
Both.
or
I do both.
in coin? Okay, well, not coin, but stocks. Okay,
Chris is old
got it.
school on the gold, man.
Dude, hey, well,
That's the
it's
one thing I don't fuck with, but I don't think it's
yeah,
stupid the
me
people
either.
that do. I don't think it's dumb, but I just
I don't think it's dumb to, especially like silver. Like one of my client, a couple of my clients are in the precious metal business, and they're getting me on, silver coins because you can barter with that better.
yeah,
Gold is harder because
I kind of think
it's so
Bitcoin
expensive.
effectively replaced it. The gold is the doomsday.
Not even close, Dan.
Well, gold's the doomsday
Ooh,
scenario. Like power is out, you can't get Bitcoin, networks are down. You have
it's a good
gold,
question.
which
There's like $30 trillion invested in gold.
right, and Bitcoin's market cap's only 2 trillion, so
Yeah,
it's got
and
an
the
upside.
Catholic Church has 25 trillion.
Actual
Yeah.
gold?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
in Rome at the
yeah.
what's it called?
Vatican
Vatican, thank you. They like the secrets are they're the world's largest gold and silver owner.
and real estate owner in the
Uh-huh.
world's Catholic Church.
That's right. Yeah.
I think
I
number
mean
two is McDonald's, believe
that's
it or
the
not.
mafia. I mean that's straight up that's the mafia behind closed doors.
Yeah, yeah,
You wanna play in my street? I take a yeah, anyways.
yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah. What about stocks, Chris? You think you're gonna get back in now with a new administration?
I may come late 2025.
That's what she said.
I want to
Uh,
see what happens. I'm still not convinced that this isn't all rigged.
yeah, Chris is like
this
holding
bump,
tight to the fear porn still.
yeah.
I'll bet you another hat.
But wait,
Okay,
what are you
so
thinking that would happen? What are
well,
you waiting for?
What are you
so I
afraid of, man? Let's get you out, like, not afraid.
What keeps you up at night?
so I do believe that a lot of rigging of the numbers was done during the last year for
Oh, the
Biden's
economy's
benefit.
numbers.
For Biden's benefit. I think
Oh, I
I
see.
think as soon as Trump takes office, all that's going to flip and you're going to see the real numbers. I think it could have an impact on the economy.
But wouldn't that push everything up? Like,
No, down,
Because it's less confidence.
so
right?
what
So
numbers do you think have
let
been
let well,
rigged?
employment would be the first and foremost. Let's
And this
say,
holiday season, we're really gonna find out. How is consumer spending during the holidays?
yeah. So, well, I just think I'll wait a bit longer.
You're just
I've
being more
waited long enough.
conservative than, yeah,
Well, and the
yeah,
reason I buy gold and Bitcoin is because gold is a nice hedge. It
yeah.
goes up when everything crashes generally.
Yeah, that is cool for that to like kind of counterbalance.
And
So
Bitcoin,
right now is a good time to buy gold. Would that be an accurate statement?
it's quite expensive right now, but
So
Bit,
that's weird.
Bitcoin is the one that you will see great gains in if the economy's good. So they say you should be diversified in your investments. I don't think I can get better diversification between those two assets.
Yeah.
Um,
What about real estate, guys? Real estate and maybe, yeah, let's go real estate next.
I mean, I'm very biased, but yeah, I mean, I think no matter what administration, long term, it's a safe play. It always has been a safe play.
Yeah,
Um,
if you wait long enough.
exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, personally, I just think it's one of the best investments to be in.
It's kind of like a
For
foolproof way to,
Yeah, you're not going to have the quick crazy ups, and
yeah.
occasionally you do, but um, but there's many more, there's many pros to it. They're just not super sexy each year. It adds up slowly over time. But so I mean, with that, but now short term, potentially think that Trump is going to do. I think the perception with Trump and real estate over the next 4 years is going to be good for real estate, I suspect. Like it was when he was there, the previous 4 years when he was in office. Um, I don't know how he can really influence rates. I think if he were somehow to manipulate the rates, um, because obviously, the president doesn't have a direct influence on interest rates for consumers. However, they there are some indirect strings and incentives that he can do to incentivize people to buy back mortgage-backed securities, which
Hmm,
in then bring rates down a little bit. Um, so there are some incentives that one could do that
interesting.
potentially could do that.
You
So I
think
think
rates are coming down?
they have been. They just haven't
I
been reflected in the mortgages.
I th-
There you go.
I th-
Yeah.
right. I think
Let me
Trump
rephrase it. Will mortgage rates go down anytime soon?
I think Trump will do, I think that's his biggest kryptonite, or not kryptonite, but biggest hurdle to figure out. And if he is able to figure that out, I mean, everybody's going to win, because I mean, there's a lot of companies that depend on line of credits and commercial loans. And I mean, there's a lot here, not just people buying and selling houses or not just realtors. I mean, it's a lot of people, and so I think it touches so many different people and so many different businesses. And I think that if Trump were to figure it out, to break, even if he brought it down, because right now we're at 6.8 today, 6.8 for an
Yeah,
average 30 year.
that's what mine is.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 point. I think
If
exactly
we
that.
can get to the mid fives, it's going to bring affordability down.
Ooh, I
People
can't
are going to
wait. I'll
feel
refi
better.
that.
Come on, baby. And
Let's
then
do
what
it.
happens when you refinance? You pull some money out, you do your backyard, you hire a contractor, the trickle down effect kind of thing.
Um,
And so, but I think that they're going to go down. I don't think they're going to go to four. I want them to. But I think if we can get to the mid fives, that would be Huge.
You sound like Trump before the huge.
Listen, people say that I can bring rates down. I don't promise anything, but people say so.
Chris doesn't look thrilled with your
No,
assessment.
yeah, actually, Chris, what do you think?
Well, I mean, Trump has pledged to bring down housing costs, right? And he's proposing two ways. He's releasing a bunch of federal land for sale
I was gonna bring that up. They're
to
making like
lower
new cities.
to lower housing costs, right?
Oh,
Their
so
their
there's more
plan is to
houses.
make
With an
Okay.
ab
new cities.
with an abundancy of houses available, he believes that will reduce the cost of housing, right?
He wants
The
to make
physical cost of a
Yeah,
house.
new
more
smart
supply.
cities, but like in
Yeah,
Yep.
places like where there's a lot of government ownership of land, Chinese government ownership of land, which they talked about
yeah,
wiping that out
yeah, for sure. Right next to bases. Yeah, frick.
and building communities. Now the question is, will people move there? Because most of these are in like Montana. There's some
I
warmer
bet in
areas
Montana
too.
for sure. Yeah.
I don't know who's moving there. I think people are still going to stay on the coast, but maybe in a
Yeah.
generation or two, these cities will be more important than LA and
Well,
Chicago.
I think you're right. I mean, I think eventually what you're saying will happen. I mean, look, I saw it here going from Orange County to Riverside. I mean, a lot of people, because the affordability became unaffordable, housing
Yeah,
became
yeah.
unaffordable. So, like, dude, F this. I still want a home,
And even
you
now, there's
know,
$1 million home. I mean, any home, any
in
decent home in
Riverside. No,
Riverside's over a
seriously.
million.
It's just nuts. And so it's like, I think as that continues, the
Chris's is
people
over
that,
a million.
yeah,
These homes out there, right?
yeah.
What's the Zillow? Zillow, I think it's over a million.
Yeah, our neighbor has sold their house three times for 1.2 million. It's the exact same
Oh,
house.
there you go. Yeah, so Inland Empire is already
You know,
unaffordable.
so it's like you got to go out
But
more,
even
you know?
rent, we talked about this last
Yeah.
time. Rents are unsustainable, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
The American dream's kind of gone, with or without Trump, as far as home
What do you
ownership, and
mean? Mm.
I think
Or
that's
you just need to
done.
own a, you got to be willing to move with your feet, which is tough. I mean, I'm not. I stay,
Yeah.
I don't want to say I would never, but I know it's super difficult. But I think that if you, it would make a good candidate if you and your friends or family, you're all in the same like social and economic level to go
Yeah.
out to a new area, that I mean, that might not be a bad idea next to a military base that already has several thousand people. I'm sure that sometimes these military bases, like you're alluding to, Dan, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's not that much to do. Well, now you already have a couple thousand people there. Actually more than that. You probably have 5, 10,000 people there. Well, now go add another 5, 10,000 civilians, open up more coffee shops, more restaurants, a Target gets there, and you just slowly, uh, make it habitable kind of thing, and it's its own,
The
big-ish
pioneers,
city.
bringing back the pioneer days of
Yeah. I mean that's literally happened everywhere. Look at even my hometown in Washington, Lake Stevens.
do you
When I
guys want
grew
to
up,
invest there?
it was like 1,300 people. Now it's like 30,000 people, and it's like it's
Let's go three ways
insane.
on a Lake Stevens house.
You want a
Townhome.
three-way?
You want to do a townhome in Lake Stevens, Chris?
Townhome, no. Multiple townhomes.
Oh, wow. Well, you're gonna sell some of your Bitcoin or what? Some of your
Uh,
gold
n-
bars?
Not right now.
Is that
That's
can actually
Maybe
24
the gold
karat
bars.
gold? Are you drinking out of a 24
Okay,
karat
Trump.
gold talus?
yeah, that'd be nice.
You guys want to take this out with a bang?
Yes.
Uh, does God exist? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Are
Those are
there aliens? Yeah.
the alien one. I'm not sure, honest.
I don't believe or disbelieve in aliens.
Dude, gold is doing pretty good. Yeah, that's so weird. So stock market, real estate, and gold,
Everything's in a bubble
the
right
tri
now.
the trifecta.
It's
the
all in a
everything
bubble.
bubble.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I hope real estate continues to climb to make my last acquisition look smart on paper.
Yeah, I
Because I'm
mean,
worried, man. That's gonna eventually
just
rent
get
that
the
one
other
out.
thing
But
rented. Yeah, get
yeah,
that rented. You won't be worried. And
yeah,
then and
it
then we
would
all gotta
in
buy
due time.
something.
In due time, we got to make some improvements. Build a
You gotta
pool.
make it great again.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say take it out with a bang, either a hot take from one of you guys, or perhaps a song, or maybe Chris gonna dance or something.
Yeah, Chris is not dancing.
Chris not in the mood for dancing.
Chris is gonna dance.
You
I
want to
need to
talk about
call.
the NIH?
I got a client who wants a phone call, and this client very much aggravates me. So I'm looking forward to
Ah,
that.
just
Dude,
give him
put
the
her
Zoom
on.
link. Yeah,
Exactly.
let's do it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, will Bitcoin, okay, this is a two-part question. Will Bitcoin sometime in 2025, will it go to 150, 150,000? It's where we're below now 100, so she went down
Yes.
to what is it, 98? I'm checking right now. 96, 96.8, not point, but 96 1,800. Will it get to 150 in 2020?
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. What what was the question? I'm being asked another question by
Will
so
Bitcoin get
Well,
to
definitely
150
mine is so much more important. Will Bitcoin get to 150 within 2025?
sometime in 2025?
I think the minimum it gets to is 180.
Whoa, the minimum. Wow. I mean, I was stretching to think, consider
Shoot,
that.
Chris, I've never seen you make a
Chris
bold
more
statement like that
optimistic than
before.
me on this.
Yeah. No, no,
Well,
I know that.
it's keeping
Wow.
its trajectory as it always has in terms of previous histories and the
Freaking
halvings.
Chris, back at it again.
You,
Dude, that's nuts.
it's
Chris
in
with
a
the hot
halving
take.
it's in a
I was
halving
gonna say
cycle.
no. I was gonna say no, it's not going to. But holy cow, so you think it's gonna go to the moon? I mean, that literally is to the moon.
I mean,
It's
I
in a
think 150.
it's in the halving cycle right now. And then the
Wasn't
halvings
100K was in the moon, like if you look from three
I
years
want
ago.
to be in the halving cycle. Yeah.
so if you look because I went through
Tell
this
my wife
yesterday.
this.
I went through
Yeah,
this yesterday
let's
on
have it.
our other podcast, but
Brew after dark.
in the last four or last three, excuse me, so every 4 years Bitcoin halved.
Oh,
And the last three it's gone, what was it, Dan? Like 100x from
50, then
the
50,
the
then
date of the
25.
halving, date of
Yeah.
the halving to its peak. It's gone 100x, then it went, then the multiples lessen,
Yeah, it decreases. 100, then 50, then 25, roughly. Then
something like that.
12.5, then 7.5,
Well, that's this one I was
which will
predicting
happen
initially
now.
is
Yeah.
seven. I
Uh,
don't know if it'll do seven, but I think five, four, something like that. I'm just saying 180 minimum because it was at 30, no, it was at 60 when it halved. So even if it 3x's, that's 180.
so Joey, your answer is yes, buy some.
dang.
It was at six.
That's
I just
I
looked
don't
it up
have free
yesterday.
cash necessarily be buying. I'm like knee deep in a biotech stock right now too, which I'm expecting a 4 to 5x upon approval. But if I had more, I would be slowly putting into Bitcoin. I just stopped since like
It
October-ish.
was Bitcoin was at 66K at halving, the date of halving.
Yeah.
So if it just 3x's from that, and again, historically, the
dang.
minimum multiple's been seven.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even three is one 200.
I
A
think the
3x.
150,
Dang.
I did have to think about it, but
Yeah, I literally was gonna say it's not gonna get to 150.
no, I think it does.
Wow.
Because it's not just hype, like Chris said, it's like there's precedence already. The last time I bought Bitcoin was September
Dang. Okay.
4th. So it's been a while since I actually bought Bitcoin. September 4th was the last time. And then before that was May 24th, April, March, February, January. A lot in January. November of last year, November. A lot. I was stacking sats all 2023. And then
Holy
I kind of
cow.
stopped like recently,
Do any of
September.
you own Doge?
Nah, don't fuck with that.
Dude,
I know it's
I,
doing well, but I don't
I'm
have
up a
time to check
thousand
every
percent.
day. Yeah, get out, man. Get
Would
out.
you? I turned
Yeah.
$50, $580.
Yeah, get out
That's
and put
with
it
my
in
50 bucks.
get out and
So
put it
I
in
really
this
turned it.
biotech.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, can
this
you
is
text me the biotech?
yeah.
Or if you want to say it to me, you can.
AQST, Aquestive Therapeutics.
I see.
It's a good
A
price point right
Q
now too. You
U
could
S
actually wait
T
a AQST.
A Q S T. Okay.
Yeah. Apple
Oh
Queen,
yes. Okay.
Sauber, Trans.
Hmm,
But
thanks.
Homeboys.
You
Speaking of
laugh.
trannies, Homeboy's not into it. Chris, right?
Chris is just risk averse on stocks right now, but he said He's
But he's all in on Bitcoin. Chris, this is fascinating.
I'm
he
not all
considers
in.
Bitcoin a different asset class.
True, you're not all in. That's right. That's
I
right.
I think again, just my opinion, just one man's opinion,
Therefore,
but
I
I
am.
just think there's more. I think there's more upside to Bitcoin than any other stock
He's
Wow,
long
okay.
Bitcoin and
Like
less
in
long
what period of time?
America.
the next year.
He's bullish Bitcoin
Yeah,
and less bullish America.
Mm,
Right?
yeah, I guess over the next year.
So
right,
I'm more
because America would
patriotic
be
than you because I
S&P.
believe in our small cap companies.
My only thing is like, and
I
then we can
pledge
go, but
allegiance,
this
ladies
should be
and
another.
gentlemen.
This should be the second one. But my only thing is, it's like it doesn't provide it. There's no profit. It's pure speculation, like
Which one?
gold. Like I don't make any cash flow, Bitcoin and gold. I
Yeah, yeah.
don't. There's no service or product that produces something and earns a return, and there's a net profit at the end of this. It's pure speculation. And it's,
No, it has an intrinsic value. I mean, I think that's been
but isn't that
demonstrated
a
already.
speculation?
At this point, I don't think
Because
it's
there's
speculation anymore.
the only thing that makes it go up and down, and maybe I'm thinking about it incorrectly, is just speculation, and or there's this less supply.
The
But there's
intrinsic
no,
value is it's a proven way that is not hackable of storing value for individuals, companies, or even countries. That's already proven, all three of those. And
okay,
so
but
that's what gives it its value is that it's an actual instrument now. Like when it was like $3, 1,000, 5,000, 10, right around 20, it started getting serious when government started buying it and the Fed started buying it and El Salvador. Did you see Bukele yesterday on Twitter? He posted like he was just trolling people with all the Bitcoin they own. They own like $600 million of Bitcoin in
dang,
Salvador, the government. So,
dang.
I mean, it's no longer speculative. It's an instrument. And this is why some of the altcoins are going up now too. And I think the altcoins are going to go up faster, even though I said to get out of Doge.
But I guess that it's hard for me to see it not be speculative when there's no money being made
But
from
what is
it.
money? Money is just an
Well,
abstraction.
not only
Money is
that,
nothing.
but
What's a
the
dollar
same
bill?
same thing can be said with real estate, right? Not investing in real
It,
estate, but if you buy a home, why would you buy a home over renting a home, right? If it's just for yourself, it's not an investment, it's not a rental property. You tell people buy a home so you ha own something, right?
well,
When rent
so
costs less, overall your cost is less if you rent. Why tell people
inflation
to
makes
buy?
the, well, in that specific case, inflation makes the asset go up
And
because
that's
of
the
the,
Bitcoin answer
As it
too.
does with Bitcoin and gold.
It's no different
It's literally no different. If anything,
but how would
you get
inflation make
more
Bitcoin go up?
because it's denominated. We hold its value in
How does
dollars.
our inflation in America make Bitcoin go up?
because
Same
many
reason of real
people,
estate.
not only that, but many people feel it's like gold. It's again, it's the electronic gold. So the reason you buy gold is because it's an inflationary hedge specifically, right? It's outpaced inflation throughout its history. It usually has about historically an 8% or 7%. I don't remember the number. It's either 7 or 8% return yearly, right? Since its creation, which was
Right,
3,000 years
right.
ago.
Mhm.
So Bitcoin is now lots of people consider, including Dan, I believe, it's the electronic replacement of gold,
And it's
right?
fungible. So a fungible asset, with the difference between a fungible asset and real estate, for example, like
It, you have
is a
quick
dollar.
access. Yeah, well, you have quick
Yeah.
access to it.
Well,
Which
So
let's say I have $10
gold's
and
value
Joey.
is low supply, right? Because if there was a whole bunch of supply, there would be no value. There's less supply of gold than there is of silver.
Yeah.
Therefore, gold is more expensive. Gold inflation, when inflation is high, gold value is down.
no, it goes the other way. It goes
No, it
up.
goes the other way because it's
It
denominated
does.
in dollars.
Hmm.
And same thing with Bitcoin. So a fungible asset is something that's if
So
let's
wouldn't
say
that
you
go
have
with inflation then, not
So,
opposite?
no, it goes in the same direction.
Oh, okay, okay.
When inflation's increasing, gold and Bitcoin are increasing. Specifically, gold. This is why people buy it for an inflationary hedge. Um, as inflation goes up, gold typically outpaces it.
But that's the same with real estate. Because
Yeah, I'm
I'm
saying
buying
it's the
real
same
estate to, yeah,
investment. I'm saying it's the
yes, yeah.
same investment.
I'm
It's
just
not,
following you.
but
I'm not challenging you. I'm just
but
following.
real estate's not a non-fungible. So like fungible means if I have $10 and I lend you one, I don't care. You don't care which one of my $10 I give you. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. And then when you pay me back one, I don't care which one you give me back, right? They're interchangeable, they're non-fungible, or they're fungible. Real estate's non-fungible. That makes it less liquid.
More I was just about to say, more simply put, it's not liquid, like Dan ended there. It's very
Like
difficult
if I have
to
10
move real
houses and
estate.
I lend you one, I want that one back. I don't just
If you're
want
not
any house back.
smart, if you're not real estate savvy, that's correct. For the large portion of Americans, that's correct. But I mean, yeah, there's
Well,
HELOC loans, that can turn your equity into cash like that. But you need
Yeah.
to be super savvy. 95% of Americans aren't. So
Yeah.
therefore, you are right. It is not but it's okay. You're saying it's just, yeah,
But
any
it's just
asset
Bitcoin's a store of
with
value.
inflation
It's a
goes up
store of
and is a hedge
value.
against inflation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and anything.
Okay.
I mean, gold's gone up 35% this year alone. I don't believe inflation's done that.
I
We're
just
in that
had
we're
that
in the
up.
everything bubble though.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I mean, we
Oh, okay.
absolutely are. I mean, it's outpacing that S&P
It's the
gold,
good old lesson.
Okay.
and so are Bitcoin. So,
Didn't you see that meme? The Ben Graham's Intelligent Investor book. Someone's throwing it in the trash, and the caption says XRP went up 2,000% this year.
That's actually really funny.
I mean, that's the world we live in.
yeah,
Nobody
Ah,
cares about
throwing
like
it in
balance
there
sheets
for that
and
1 week. Yeah.
intrinsic
Uh,
value and PE ratios. That's bullshit. Buy some Doge.
well, let's keep talking about this, guys. I know we've gone well beyond, but a good convo.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to figure out, and maybe in the next one, I want to figure out more the gold and Bitcoin and because I'm still a little bit missing on, I just don't like the fact there's no, I guess in my opinion, there's no like intrinsic value making it go up. I guess besides just inflation, but then,
well,
I
what's
mean,
the intrinsic value of a dollar
technically
bill?
eggs go up with inflation.
Yeah, but and what's the intrinsic value?
This
And everything
this
goes up
pen,
except the dollar bill
right?
goes up during inflation. So,
Yes, that's right.
what's the intrinsic value of a
So I
dollar
guess
bill?
that's not really a big sale point for me. Now gold has 4,000 years. I'm not challenging gold because that's been around forever and that's more than the stock market, right? Stock market's only, at least in the United
Yeah.
States, a couple hundred years old, or 100 and something years old. But yeah, no, we can postpone this, but I like to, um, yeah, keep talking about this. And I,
You're
I
not
appreciate
alone,
your guys'
man.
perspective.
You're
Yeah.
not alone. Like super
Is that
smart
cocaine?
people. Yeah, it is. They got to do a little bump to get me through this.
That's
Darshan,
what she said.
you're not alone. Very intelligent people like my boy Darshan Kulkarni are not in Bitcoin, and he knows he's wrong, but he equated it
And
to the
I
tulip
think I'm
mania.
wrong too. Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm thinking I'm wrong. I'd like to discuss it a little bit more before I
Well,
start
you're
putting some
not
money in it.
wrong. You actually believe in it. You're just
Yeah,
not
yeah, I do.
convicted like we are.
Yeah,
well,
I'm not willing. Well, I'm not willing to bet the farm on it, but
And you
I'm
shouldn't.
I'm
If you don't have
right.
conviction, you shouldn't
well, I
invest
I
in
would
it.
agree.
say I don't believe you should, even if you do have conviction.
Yeah.
Personally,
Oh
I
no, if
don't
you
Yeah.
think
have conviction, you should go all in on things.
I don't think so. I
Well,
think you should be
all in
divert.
of what you can lose.
There you go. That I agree with.
That's me on AQSD. God bless that stock, man. Epinephrine, anaphylaxis shock. Let's do it. I think translate your Doge into that. It's gonna
Yeah, but what
5x.
happens if Doge goes to like $10? I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, you'll be pissed. Do your
Yeah,
due
yeah,
diligence on it.
because you know why I haven't sold it, and I'm like Blair keeps saying, sell it and go buy like Apple stock or so, something
Yeah,
like that. I'm like, well, we
Nvidia.
own a good amount of Apple and
Get
the
some
other stuff,
Nvidia.
but I'm like, dude, if it just this is the same shit people at Bitcoin 20 years ago, 15 years ago said, oh, it's worth nothing. Just the guy that bought pizza with it, and it was like $200 million worth
People are
of
still saying it's worth
yeah,
nothing, like,
true.
and it's 100K.
Yeah,
So it's
that is
like
just.
Okay, then why are countries buying it? And what,
Oh,
how come that's being done? Nice view.
my camera went limp.
They got pills for that.
We might need one of those.
I got that
Um,
same ledger or that
oh,
same
that is funny.
USB.
Oh, you do? Oh, good. Now you know what happens behind the. I might have to hold it. There we go.
Well, I guess
On
going
that
out
note,
with a bang. We'll get you like look into AQST. I'm not expecting it to do that much, but I think it's $5 right now or 4.30. You're getting it at a good price. I think it'll hit 20 to 25 in 2025. So you're gonna
whoa.
get like
Yeah, it's
a
439.
there you go. My average cost is 380 on that one.
Oh, so you're not okay. Yeah, you're
I'm
not
up,
far.
but I mean it's
Oh,
gonna
it
get
was
an
at
approval.
623.
Yeah,
Okay.
not too long
So
ago. So you're in a
52 week
good
low is 184.
and it's
Okay.
down on good news, which is how this stock kind of operates. But the real good news is not yet to be released, and that's gonna come next year,
Oh, okay.
and you'll be glad you did. I'm just buying more
Yeah.
every day.
Oh, you
You
are. Okay.
yes.
All right, gentlemen. Well,
Like, subscribe, comment, share. Go follow Joey Finner right now because
hey.
he's on Instagram walking through mansions and shit. And Chris, don't follow him anywhere because he's a recluse. So he'll cuss you out too.
Yeah, they are
I
my
will.
kids.
I think so.
I cuss people out on the regular.
Yeah. No, he
Just
doesn't.
like no, you're not. You're very nice person actually. Keep investing in gold, man.
And Bitcoin.
Man, Bitcoin. Get some AQST.
Real
And I like
estate.
your Black
Come
Panther.
on.
I like your Black Panther behind you.
Oh.
Like, subscribe, comment,
Black
share.
Panther.
Bye bye.